Hello, welcome to Magical Mondays. I am Peaceful Nick the Medium.
And I am Lady Shadowe. And on Magical Mondays, we offer tips and tricks to help you slay your weekdays while we give away awesome giveaways and advice. Today, most people are not hating on the Monday because it's a holiday, but in the future, we're going to be here at 8:30 to help you guys get through the horrible idea of, a week long of sludge for a lot of us. And we're here to bring the peace and love.
That's right. That is right. And my comments aren't showing on the screen. I don't know what's happening. Maybe there's just a weird thing happening today. Hello, Trent. So hopefully the comments will work here in a minute once we get started. But we're here to help you as a follow-up to our Soul Twin Stars podcast, which premiered on Friday, May 23rd. And we talked about... Did you
say which?
Which? We talked about... That's right. We talked about my journey in life and how I went from...
Am I gone? Uh-oh, everybody disappeared. If anyone can hear me, I don't see you, Nick, and I cannot hear you. So I'm not sure what's happening. My dog is hanging out with me. I'm not sure what's happening. I'm just going to wait a second. Okay, I'm waiting for Nick. She's here. We're live. I think she's going to come back in. 1 second, everybody. Okay, I'm going to wait here. I don't know if anyone can hear or see me. I don't have access to comments because this is being hosted by Peaceful Nick. I don't know if she can hear me.
I'm here. Can you guys see me?
Okay.
Can you see me?
I can see you.
I don't know what happened. It just completely dropped me off. So I don't know.
It happens all the time where I'm at. So annoying.
Yeah. So I'm glad you got to stay on. So that's awesome.
I was walking the audience through the apocalypse for that 60 seconds.
Yeah. One day, Angel said she got hacked. Yeah. One day I was on here and somebody hacked me in the middle of my live stream. So yeah, you got to love that. So we're back for Magical Mondays. Woohoo!
Yay!
This will be on the internet in perpetuity forever.
I guess so. All the glitches of the universe, especially when you talk about love and light, sometimes you get kicked off because people would rather have you watching dark and scary television, politics, and really bad, scary news. So
negativity rules the news cycle and the internet. And we are not about negativity. So thank you guys for sticking around until whatever happened. And our first podcast premiered Friday, and we've had over 500 views for our first podcast over all platforms. And it's probably more than that now. Last I checked.
Thank you, everyone. Yes.
We are so grateful. We are so grateful. And what are we going to talk to? This is what we're going to talk about tonight. Do you feel like vomiting at the thought of going to work tomorrow? Anybody? Anybody feel like vomiting?
Or slightly nauseous? Or if you're happy to go to work tomorrow, talk to us about your good job, like the happy job that you love. That's fine too. We're all about that.
Yeah. So it was a 3-day weekend, as you said earlier. So usually I hear people who don't like their jobs talk about how they don't feel good the night before a job that they're stressed about. They feel nauseous. They have anxiety. They can't sleep. If that's you, let us know. If Carrie said she's a therapist and she loves her job, awesome.
Oh,
if you love your job, let us know that too. So Um, our first episode, as I said before, was our origin story. And what else did we talk about?
Oh my gosh. Menopause, right? Some drops about that, a little bit about husbandry and relationships and for what you want in life and trying to attempt to bring all your dreams together before we all croak. Just and having the journey to that be divine instead of stressful. We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, we talked about what we want to do with the episodes going forward. We have so many awesome things planned. Everyone, we're going to have a couple of celebrities coming on in future episodes very quickly. Kamala Devi McClure is going to do our sacred sex episode in a couple of weeks for June 6th, I think. And that's going to be so good. She's been on Showtime. She's been in documentaries about sacred sexuality and healing your body shame. And she is amazing. I've been a fan of her for a long time. And I am just honored that she's going to be talking to us and all of you. So super excited about that coming up. We just recorded our paranormally aroused episode that's going to drop this Friday. You guys don't want to miss that. We interview a couple of legit paranormal investigators, Christopher Dufresne and myself, thank you, who's done over 100 investigations at least in the last 15 years. So that's going to be fun.
And we talk about our own paranormal experiences that we've had through our life. We each give about 3 or so stories of weird things that have happened. And the star of the show tonight is Miss Bailey. I see Miss Bailey back there cuddling up next to you. And
yeah,
she's
she is
a little baby. And we have some questions. Barbara said, do you see the comments? Yes. Trent said, congrats. Carrie said, I'm a therapist and I love my job. Carol loves going to work. Trent said, I used to have that problem of throwing up, like I asked, before I stopped doing 9 to 5 work. I just couldn't handle that type of schedule and would literally vomit in the mornings thinking about having to go. Yes. I had a job one time that was so stressful that I had to take medication to go. And I'm not a person that takes medication for like anxiety for anything unless I have to go to the dentist. But I would have, it was so stressful, I would have to take a pill before I went in. Like, and
Jeez.
yeah, it was terrible. Then COVID happened and I didn't have to go back anymore. And Carrie said, when you mentioned husbandry, Lady Shadowe, like farming, is that what you mean? Or husbands?
Oh, husband, relations, husbandry, as in the day to day of our interesting relations that
Yes.
both complement and frustrate us beautiful wives. And I'm sure that this is across the board with everyone because not every husband and wife is perfect. I mean, in my mind, I have this really lucky situation. I have a great guy. I've had him for 20 years, and I knew day one he was my soulmate. But it's a give and take all the way through. But I'm overall just I give him an A+. Overall for sure. But yeah, no, there's those moments, and we'll talk about them here because that's what we do on our podcast. And on Magical Mondays is we keep it real and honest about everything that we're doing. But Nick, do you want to give a book recommendation? So on Magical Mondays, we're also just going to kind of throw some really awesome tips to get through the week in case you have a bad week or an anxious start to your week coming up. We've got a book recommendation we'll each do in 30 seconds and then a little bit of advice and tips, and then we're going to do some giveaways.
Right. So stick around till the end for the giveaway. You have to be here to claim it. And yes, just one moment. Carrie said, a single person living on a farm. My brain didn't go that way with it. As a single person. That's funny.
That sounds kind of nice.
My book that sounds so peaceful. My book recommendation is always the first book I recommend to everyone. Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth. I have read, you can see I've read this book into oblivion. I have highlighted it so many times. I actually need a new copy. But I've read it and read it and read it. It is incredible. I got it 11 years ago from my niece Mandy, who sent it to me. It talks about, it's a continuation of his book about being in the now, and
Mhm.
how being in the present moment is so important. And it talks about people and their pain, and how their pain causes them to act from their ego, and how to navigate other people who live from their ego state, and how to not engage, and how to regulate, and not go crazy, because people be people, and basically is what it is.
And it's
Um,
funny because yeah, that book goes hand in hand with mine. Um, ironically, also
thank
read to death.
thank you. Who's it by?
Thank you for being such a pain. And it's written by Mark Rosen. And I tell you, when I have a relationship issue or a blip in a friendship, oh my God, this is my go-to Bible, because this can literally turn around the most evil mother-in-law drama by checking this out, because it will
I
literally,
don't know.
it has the perfect solutions in order to deal with really difficult. I mean, I'm not talking about my mother-in-law. I'm talking about anyone's
No,
mother-in-law.
no, I don't know what
And
that.
it's just incredible. It has all the answers in a spiritual, but also in a practical way, like Eckhart Tolle, get out of the ego and just let it go. And, along with the Mel Robbins, just let them. It's
Let
so
them.
good. This has changed my life. Yes.
And say
When
the
I
title
really,
again, so I can type
yes,
the
it's
title
called
and author, so I can type it in.
Thank You for Being Such a Pain. And again, it's such a wonderful, healing gratitude. um the fact that it's a contradictory title, but gratitude wins out every time, right? I mean, the thank yous in the big letters, but it's a wonderful book. Seriously, if you're looking for ways to just navigate difficult relationships. Mark Rosen, with a K. Mark with a K. This, I think I bought this about 15 years ago. So we're looking at, I don't know, 2000 and gosh, I don't know. I don't even know when it was published, but I know when I bought it was about 15 years ago. But it's wonderful.
Um,
I've read it 3
there's a
times.
question for you, Lady Shadow. There's a question for you.
Yes.
I see you spell magic with a K. Now, I spelled it with a K for the title because I have many friends that are Wiccans and astrologers, and I see them spell it like that. So I have no reason other than that for spelling it with a K. But Philbert wants to know, are you Crowley followers or Wiccans? Whatever
No,
that means.
no, no Crowley here. I just like old English. If I could write words color with an OU, or favor with an OU, I would, because I just think it's classy. I'm very traveled. I love like playing with language and observing words and letters and symbols from other cultures and other places on the planet. So that definitely not, like, if you check out the symbolism in my work or on my website, it's always a pentacle. It's not the Crowley with the point of the star heading downward, which is generally, a Satanist thing, or an as above, as below, below, below. So
So
I
what,
just like,
explain what
yeah.
that means, I don't have that information because I practice
You mean the
mediumship.
pentacle twist?
No, well, what's Crowley, and what's he talking about?
Crowley. Yeah, no, Crowley is, more of the darker side of the occultic side of,
Oh.
yeah, I mean, some people think of him as a really a masterful magician and a
Mhm.
mind manifester through those energies, but I think it tends to go to the darker stuff. There's a history there, where again, I don't play with that because I'm in love based Wicca only. So I only want to play in the highest vibration of the universe, which is love, and so I only want to play with love energy. I don't want to mess with anything dark. But Crowley, I think most of his stuff was the darker stuff. Although in some texts, And in some publications, he's kind of revered as like I said, a master of the occult arts. And I think some people could take that as an elevated idea that he was a light worker in some ways, probably just because he was smart and knew how to manipulate energy. But yeah, but I mean, whoever you're drawn to, I mean, I'm not necessarily drawn to that type of energy and teachings. I keep it metaphysical, and light filled. So I mean, he taught different stuff. That's all. And I don't want to be judgmental about someone who dabbles in the darker side because it's mysterious. It's not always evil. For me, it's my thing. And if someone else wants to play in that, that's okay. I mean, what can I do? I can't, people get to make their choices and I don't want to judge that. So, but yes, love based only for us over here.
Yeah. And, it reminds me, you saying that reminds me, I'm a big movie person. I love movies and I love Star Wars. No surprise to anybody that knows me. There's a line in episode 3 of Star Wars where Anakin, spoiler alert, if for anybody who hasn't seen the movies, Anakin becomes Darth Vader and he's talking to the evil emperor. And they're talking about the force and the dark side and
Yes,
evil. And the emperor said, evil is a point of view, Anakin.
that's
And I
right.
always think of it, helped me think of people I know who, speaking of mother-in-laws, somebody commented about mother-in-laws. It helped me see that, I know it sounds goofy, but from a line from that movie helped me see other people's perspective. It opened my mind to see, oh, I think they're bad because they have this, and this opinion or action, but I have to look at it from their side. Why are they doing this, and that? Now, I'm not
Exactly.
condoning any harm of anyone. I'm just giving a little antidote about how, evil is a point of view. I'm not promoting anything evil. I'm just telling a story. So don't think I'm saying that. Filbert also asked to you, what about Benny Hill? He was great. Him and Lil Jackie Wright. I don't know who those people are. Do you know what that is?
Not particularly.
I thought Benny Hill was
No.
a
I
comedian.
exactly. That's what I was immediately thinking. Now I know that a lot of Hollywood, you know, is into some of the occult darker, some of them darker, some of them, and the thing is it's not even darker light. There's shades of gray in between all of this, just like with anything, right? But I mean, we all know that, there's the symbology that goes on with Hollywood and the seeing eye and the pyramid and, that all goes on. Honestly, I try not to study stuff that doesn't elevate me. So just like if you're reading the Bible, if you want to be, elevated that day, you're going to read the good parts that make you feel good. But if you want to understand where the sin comes from and where all the violence and because there's a lot of that in the Bible too, you can go to those pages and look them up, but it's just a matter of, okay, what mood and what do I want to feed my brain today? So I really don't know the history of certain practitioners. I play a little bit with the goddesses of certain elements and that kind of thing, but overall my metaphysical Wicca is very contemporary and very modern and very science of mind and manifestation techniques and kind of like a generic prayer with ritual in a way, like a not agnostic but just a benign positive thinking along with doing something physical, which kind of solidifies what you're doing, makes things happen a little faster kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's good to know. Ellen said Benny Hill is a really different generation. His humor, OUR, by the way, looks very sexist.
Yes.
I never watched Benny Hill. I'm familiar with his name and I remember the commercials, but I never watched it. So we are here tonight to talk about a couple of tips to set yourself up for the week. So it's a short week for most people who work, 9 to 5s. And we were talking about, does going to work make you want to vomit? Right. So what, Lady Shadowe, would you recommend?
For the My number one thing is, if you are in a job that not just is unsatisfying, but makes you like dread going there the first 24 hours at the end of the weekend. So what I used to do when I worked a job I didn't like, and what my husband used to do when he worked a job he didn't like, is he would visualize when he would go in the choice that there be exit doors everywhere, so that if he at any point decided that he didn't want to be there anymore for whatever reason, because obviously we're all capable of getting another job, right? It's not life or death to lose a job. Generally, we'll just say generally. I mean, even if you have a family to feed, people lose their jobs all the time. And most of us can bounce back pretty quickly, get food on the table. But in my husband's case, same thing. He hated his job for many years, and he would go in and he would just kind of breathe at the door, say, "Okay, I'm here by choice, and if I just can't take it anymore, I can walk out the door. It's right there. It's unlocked. I'm not in a prison. My mind is here, my body is here, but it's not a prison. It is a free world, and I can at any time leave and not come back." So the idea that he had some control over the choice of being there versus someone forcing him in chains to be there, or there's also the invisible chains, right? That we
Yep.
feel like we are bound to, when it's
Finances.
really all, yes, and it's all in our own mind. So every morning he would free himself and say, "It's a choice. I don't have to be here." And he would come home for lunch like in a great mood, because he'd be like, "Oh, I know I'm not going to be here forever. I'm going to go back by choice, but I don't have to. I'm under no obligation." Now, I know that some jobs require a contract, and there are severe penalties for leaving a job early. And again, that's to be worked out, the details, however you want to handle that. But
Mhm.
overall, I think that the stage that we fill our lives, uh, you know, with the people, the sets, the places, the things, the relationships, again, that can be removed as much as we have placed them there on our stage. So we always have a choice every day if we want to keep things as they are, or if we want to make a change. And we have to empower ourselves, even if we are not ready to make that change. We have to empower ourselves to at least give us the option in our minds to know that we can make that change. Otherwise, all hope is lost for anything, you know?
Yeah, and it makes me wanna pound my fist on my desk because we are so effing conditioned to believe, go to school, go to college, get a good job. And those days, that may have worked back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, but it's very different now. There's something to be said about the gig economy, like doing different things so you're not bound by this false narrative of always doing a 9 to 5. Now, listen, I have worked at a job since I was 14 years old. In 1984, I started working for $1.25 an hour, and I have worked every single day since. At a brief little time when my boys were born, that I stayed at home for most of the day with them, but I worked at Subway and I was a sandwich artist at night, by the way.
A
Um,
true artist.
yeah, I was a sandwich artist. um, so I've always worked. So I'm not saying quit your job and go become a hot air balloon operator overnight and start your own hot air balloon business. What we're saying is you have choices other than wanting to throw up at night or in the morning, as Trent said, before you go to work and getting physically ill. And I just saw there was a big report out and I saw it. I don't have the link or verification. It was just a blip I saw on social media about quitting your toxic job is better for your health than quitting smoking. So
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
because we're so
And
stressed.
it's so true. And remember, the word disease comes
Yeah.
from dis-ease. So our
Yes.
bodies can't go into a state of inflammation and sympathetic nervous system, which is the
Yep.
opposite of parasympathetic nervous system, which we've talked about, relaxing ourselves, because that's when all the cortisol comes out. And that is what causes all the disease and the beginnings of cancer and all the immune disorders. And when our bodies cannot rebuild itself because it's being overwhelmed by the cortisol and the sympathetic nervous system. So definitely, And what's the point of even working a job you hate if your health isn't going to make it through working the job you hate, and then you come
And
out
you're
on the
going
other
to
side?
die young because you're so
Yeah.
miserable.
And then you're going to say, all I did was spend time working a job that I hated. And sometimes it's just better to buck up the finances, make a change, downgrade life a little bit until you can transition yourself to a happier place. And when you tap into the talents that you have to create work for your talents, the money will follow. Because
Right.
anytime you are locked in with your authentic self and the more genuine and true you are to your authentic self and what makes you happy, the more the universe can line up those opportunities to give you everything you need to do that for the rest of your life, because the
And
universe, by default, the creator doesn't want you to feel this way.
right. And I want to mention something you told me a couple weeks ago, but Capricious Caroline said, first time here. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Caroline and anybody else who's new. Thank you for being here. Listen to our Soul Twin Stars podcast on Spotify and everywhere podcasts are found. A couple of weeks ago, my darling Lady Shadowe told me that I was going back and forth between deciding two things, two big major things in my life. And she said, tell the universe what you want. Delete those emails for that other thing if you don't really want to do that. And I did not want to do that other thing. I would rather choke to death on a pork bone than do that other thing. Like, it was something I did
That's a really
not.
bad thing. I hate going to the gynecologist too, Nick. I'm glad you didn't go that
Well, I don't
day.
have a uterus anymore, so I don't have to worry
Well, they
about
got to
that.
check the other stuff. Outer solar system. I'm kidding. This is what we do. It always goes down to being a woman and having to deal with all of that, and then bringing the men to help us understand, or help them understand
Exactly.
all of it. Anyway, just being human.
So,
Anyway,
Lady Shadowe told me, decide, because you're telling the universe two different things. You're telling the universe you want A, and you're telling the universe you want B. And the universe doesn't know what to do. And I said, okay. She goes, if you don't want to do A, delete all of those things. And then the universe is going to answer you. And oh my God. Was
everything
she
changed.
100% right? My life changed in less than a week. Now, disclaimer, I had laid the groundwork for the option I really wanted for the last 5 years. So it wasn't like I just popped up one day and said, I'm going to be a hot air balloon operator. I'm going to tell the universe. And then I started running this successful business overnight. No, I had to do the work, obviously, for this. So it wasn't like it just happened. I had set the intention, I had done the work, but I was giving a different message to the universe. And I finally said, nope, this is it. Plan A is all there is.
Yes. And here's the thing. Would you go to a grocery store and walk around the grocery store and put things in your cart that you don't like? Why would
No.
anyone do that? You're not going to buy something you don't like. You're not going to go and say, hey, I'm looking for some Cheetos and some avocados today and some really delicious chicken breast, and I really hate oysters, so I'm going to go put oysters in my cart. Like, who would do
Oh
that?
my God. I was
So it's
talking
the
about
same.
oysters with my husband last night. They're so
Isn't that
gross.
crazy? Well, I mean, and somebody loves them, then that's fine. And we don't judge, but that's
To
what I'm
me,
saying. Like, just think of life as a grocery store. Only pick out things you like, And I also
right.
tell my husband when he's ambivalent about a decision too, is there are two pastures and they both need tending to, but they're both the
Yeah.
same size, right? They both have a gate, they both have grass and flowers and all this stuff and a couple of horses in them. And if you sit on the fence and you're like, pasture A or pasture B, pasture A or pasture, they're both good, but wait a minute, nope, I see a pile of poopy over there, and I'm starting to see a snake over there, and you're still on the fence. Well, should I tend the pasture that has snakes and more poop and a lot of work to maintain, or should I pop into the pasture that has, the nicer horses and the greener grass and looked a little easier and more fun. But no, because the poop over there it's catching my eye. It's distracting me. Like maybe I should go to that. Like,
It sounds
this is what
better.
we set ourselves. This is what we set ourselves up to. We actually are okay with saying to ourselves, yeah, I deserve better, but I'm just going to take the crap. I'm going to take the pile of crap. Like, and another thing about ambivalence is, let's say the pastures are exactly the same pasture. Well, how can the universe give you either if you're on the fence? You got to jump into one of the pastures and tend to it,
Right.
you know?
And exactly, you have to tell the universe which way you want to go. Capricious Caroline said, I would really love to be a medium. I don't hear or see spirit. I've had a couple of premonition dreams and I've always felt there is something else. Now I will tell you, there could not be a better time for you to send me this message, because on Saturday, or no, excuse me, Friday, this Friday, I have a free, absolutely free, 100% free, no obligation on Zoom class, Introduction to Mediumship workshop. Go on my website or send me an email. I'll put you on the list and you can join. It's on Zoom. It's about an hour and 15 minutes, depending on how many people show up. And my website is peacefulnickthemedium.com. So, and I have a $27 workbook, downloadable digital workbook on my website if you're interested in that. No pressure, but yeah, it's really, it's a really, I do a lot of work like this because, not everybody wants to commit to 6 months. They want to see what's it about. And then, oh, okay, I do want to commit, or no, it's not for me. You got to vibe with the
And even
person.
if, exactly, and even if you commit or don't commit to the longer or the shorter, guess what? The cool thing is anyone can become a medium by getting in touch with their higher selves and by listening and kind of shutting off the thoughts and again getting rid of the clutter in your life. If you're not hearing them now, Nick, if anyone can teach you how to do that, because she is amazing. She's such an articulate, thoughtful, and inspiring teacher. And so if you don't think that this is even possible to comprehend that you could be in that position that she is, where you're hearing things and giving people messages, trust me, everything changes after a little bit of her course direction. And same with my Wicca course. I have a Wicca course on soulsandspirits.com. It's super empowering and it's love based. And if you are interested in the white Wicca path, I don't teach the dark stuff. So if you want to do Crowley occulting, you have to go to a different spot. But oh my gosh, it's such a journey. Either side, we both have so much to offer in the spiritual world, whichever way, whatever path you want to take, and kind of honing in on the things that you want to learn and check out, in the world, how you would apply this to your life. So either side is great. I mean, we both walk the light, so it's a light filled pastures, right?
Right. And somebody said, when is the workshop? I didn't hear. It's this Friday. Go to my website. You'll see a little chalkboard icon. You click on it, you put your email address in, and I'll send you an invitation for the class. And Lady Shadowe has a love-based Wicca course on soulsandspirits.com if you're interested,
Yes.
which she was just talking about. So I wanted to put that on the screen. Are they? Oh,
And Bailey's saying
MD.
hi to everybody.
Hi,
Who?
Bailey. She's so
Say
pretty.
hi, Bailey.
MD said, are they out there or are they in our mind? That's a great question.
Hmm.
Listen, for those of you new to me, I have a ton of new followers and subscribers on YouTube. I am a scientist who became a medium in my late 40s. This is a filter. I don't really look like this.
Yes, she does. She's beautiful.
I did not even know if mediumship was real or possible. And I have now done thousands and thousands of readings, and I'm an evidential medium, which means I have to get evidence in my readings. I was just giving a reading before this to a lady who I said, have you been to the doctor to get your blood work? And she goes, I just went to my physical and I've been avoiding getting my blood work because I was talking to her mom in spirit. How would I know she went and got a physical? I wouldn't know that. And then I told her something about a bird. She goes, oh my God, I just set this whole new bird thing up and had a new bird come to get this new bird feed today, blah, blah, blah. Like those are things that are evidence that I would have no way of knowing unless I was connecting to someone in spirit. So it's not in my mind. And so love-based Wicca course on souls and spirits, free workshop Friday. Friday at, I believe it's 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's about an hour and 15, and it will be recorded on Zoom for later viewing. So everybody will get a copy of the recording, and you can watch it as many times as you want and save it forever. I also have tons of videos on my YouTube channel in a playlist called Mediumship Information and Learning. So start there. And then Barbara said, thank you. Trent said, Nick is a wonderful and dedicated teacher. Trent has been in my workshop before and is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful woman. So yeah, sign up. Barbara said, I feel like after age 40, you grow a lot spiritually. Yes, in my experience anyway, I'm 42 and I've grown so much. Getting older is the best for your mind.
Come on, boo-boos. Sorry about that, everyone.
Bailey sees a stranger danger. She sees Bigfoot out in your backyard.
She is seeing the spirits of the garden. Got a garden outside popping up. So Nick, do we want to do our giveaway tonight? We have a really awesome prize for everybody who came in, and usually we just assign it to one person, because we've got pretty valuable stuff that we're giving out. But tonight I want to give I personally want to give everybody who's joining the live, if you will go over to soulsandspirits.com on YouTube, and if you can just hit subscribe for me, we will send you, and you can either email Nick or me at soulsandspirits@yahoo.com or peacefulnickmedium@gmail.com, and we will send you a PDF spiritual inventory journal. It's really cool. It helps you define. We created over here in soulsandspirits.com because my husband and I do life coaching and spiritual life coaching over there as well. And we've created this amazing 13-page PDF. You can print it out. You can do it digitally. Just asking the important questions on how to improve and elevate your life and how to make changes in your life and really defining what you want. And everything is a little bit better if you use this device. A pencil or a pen, writing things down makes everything 10 times more powerful. Because taking the time to do it instead of just reading and skimming is so important. So this journal is awesome. We've been sending it to clients for years, people that are just looking to have a breakthrough, try something new, just work through their thoughts, their dissatisfactions, and their hopeful, more fulfilling, dreams and hopes. So we are giving away one of those to everyone here tonight. If you could just pop on to Souls and Spirits and like and subscribe, and to Nick if you haven't already done that, to Peaceful Nick as well. So it's all yours. It's for everybody tonight.
That is amazing. Sorry, I was trying to get your the right link for your YouTube channel. So it's it's hard to find because it's at Love Based Wicca and the title is Souls and Spirits. So if you just type in at Love Based Wicca, I have it on the screen here. And the title is called Souls and Spirits. So you'll see the two different words there. She's live over there now, so you can see her live over there now.
Yeah, we want to send this out to you because it's a beautiful presentation, very well organized, layman's terms. You will love it, and so why not? It's totally free.
And they need to email you at soulsandspirits.com. No,
soulsandspirits@yahoo.com. Okay. Yep, just send a request over. You can put PDF or journal in the subject, and we'll send that right out to you tonight. Whenever you send it, whenever we get your email, we will send it to you. But if you could hit the like and subscribe, that'd be awesome on that page.
Okay, for some reason I zoomed in. I don't know what I did, but now our faces.
Oh, that's you. You did that to us.
I was typing and
it's a mugshot.
I touched something on the pad and it just zoomed in. So I don't know what happened or why, but there we go. Now we're close up now. So that's what we got.
Okay.
So you got Gen Xers here who know how to use technology about half the time. That's what we got. So that's so everyone.
What we got.
Lady Shadowe is so generous. Email soulsandspirits@yahoo.com for your free PDF download, and you will love it. It's beautiful. She sent me a copy earlier, and chef's kiss for that.
Thank you. And what are you going to give away next week, Nick? If you tune in to next Monday, don't forget to tune into our podcast. Next Friday it drops at 6 p.m. Oh, juicy paranormal show. But like I said, Magical Mondays, we always do a giveaway. Very, but in the right kind of way. Yes. You know. So Nick, tell us about what you're going to give away next Monday so everyone can tune in and not forget about what we're doing here.
So next Magical Monday, hopefully we won't be zoomed in. I will be giving...
I want to see my grays really close up.
Oh, I have a whole tribe of them myself. I will be giving away one of two things because so many people have purchased my digital download. If somebody's already purchased it, I'm going to give away either the digital download or a free mini reading. So that'll be a one-on-one reading. So it just depends on, and I have a list. I know who bought it. So
that's awesome.
Any last minute questions? So just start a hobby, do something on the side, try not to be nauseated. If it's Sunday night or Monday night, in this case tonight, and you're nauseated about going to work, do something you enjoy in the evening before. Like if you like to paint, go paint. If you like to journal, go journal. If you like to walk outside in the wilderness, go walk outside in the wilderness. If you like to watch stupid comedy shows, watch stupid comedy shows. Do anything to distract yourself from the anxiety and stress. And make sure you have boundaries at work and don't let anybody give you any BS. So those are my words.
And not just at work.
Yeah,
coworkers can be just as coworkers can be pretty toxic too, but and we all know also how work can spill over to personal life can spill over to work. So getting it all, just keeping it at bay, and the free PDF that y'all are going to get tonight really helps define all of that, and writing it down again is super solid. Yep. It really tells the universe, I mean business.
So everybody email soulsandspirits@yahoo.com. And did I spell that right? I can't see it. And you will get
and don't forget to go to my YouTube page and just hit like, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Yeah.
Exactly. Here, I'll put that up again. Love Base Wicca on YouTube at Love Base Wicca, Souls and Spirits. Well, Lady Shadowe, it's been another wonderful evening. We will be live again at 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, talking about our upcoming podcast on Friday. So tune in, same place, all the same places you're watching now. We will be streaming live there as well. Again,
Wednesday. And we might even have some more prizes and some more surprises for everybody. So you never know. You gotta tune in to
and maybe we'll do some card readings because there's a rumor. Lady Shadowe has a beautiful new deck of tarot cards. We'll be.
Yes, I have. Oh, I have been working on this deck for 4 months, designing it just perfect. It's at the printer. It's almost here. It's 56 cards of inspiration, and I can't wait to read you guys with it and show you what I've done. So it should be here any day, hopefully by the end of the week. Crossing my fingers, it's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to show it and share it with this beautiful audience that deserves the love and the inspiration back.
And it is a beautiful deck. Somebody said, MB, you might be able to answer this, Lady Shadowe. In your experience, are they really detected by EMF meter? Are there some electromagnetic fields? I think she's talking about, or whoever MB is, they are talking about spirits and ghosts. Yeah, I don't have those kind of meters, but Lady Shadowe has done hundreds of these
investigations. Yes. And yes, you can get interference. If we are, for instance, using an EMF reader in a haunted location and there is electricity, as in it's still a working building, we have to be very careful to take normal readings before we feel there might be a spike. We also need to stay in the room for a particular amount of time to get those normal readings in case, like, if like if a refrigerator kicks on, or a microwave, somebody to put something in the microwave in the
Right.
break room next door. We've investigated places like museums, and they're still working buildings, and so you have to account for those spikes. But if you were out in the middle of nowhere, and again, you take a normal reading in a couple of different ways as you're scoping, the environment. You have to just, again, adjust the spikes for your movement. If there's a power line nearby, that can even affect it. So you have to take normal base readings first, and then, especially if you're starting to feel things at the same time as you're getting spikes, cold spots, goosebumps, you're hearing things, a wind picks up on a normally very calm night, all of that is a sign that something's around, and that's when to check your spike levels. Yeah.
That is amazing. Thank you, Capricious Caroline. I'm glad a lot of people came over from Linda G, the Comanche Psychic, and I am so grateful. And I will be on with her again in June talking about UFOs. And I think Lady Shadowe will be hopefully on with her soon as well, which will be great, talking about all of your paranormal investigations. Oh, good. MB's going to check out your interview on Coast to Coast. Wonderful. Thank you,
nice.
everyone.
Thank you so much for clicking. Yay.
Thank you, everyone. And if you have any questions, you know where to find both of us, soulsandspirits@yahoo.com for Lady Shadowe, Peaceful Nick the Medium at gmail.com. And we will see you guys.
And by the way, if you do send me an email, just a quick disclaimer, if you send me an email just to get your free PDF course, you will not be bothered or sold to a third party for marketing of any purposes. You might get an email here and there, but we're doing this event or that event, but you are not going to sign up for daily emails. You're not going to be all of a sudden on somebody else's like crazy witchy, product online servicing. You're not going to be sold. You're not going to be sold at all. It's just for you to get your prize. And if you prefer not to get any further marketing emails, you can write in there, just the PDF, please. Not a worry.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lady Shadowe. We'll see everybody at 8 Eastern on Wednesday. And thank you to everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Goodbye. Good night.
Many blessings.
Many blessings. Bye.